Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this chilly day, although the sun is shining, so we're grateful for that. My name is Daria Devlin, and I am honored to serve as president of the Erie School Board and chair of the Erie's Public Schools Athletic Facilities Commission. In those capacities, and on behalf of the entire school board, our district administration, our staff and faculty, and our students, I am so thrilled to welcome you to today's ceremony and to serve as your MC this morning. I have to tell you that it feels very surreal to be standing here finally in front of you today as we mark the beginning of long-awaited and much-needed renovations to Biletnikoff Field. As so many of you know, for way too long, our students in Erie's public schools have been denied high-quality athletic facilities like these, and it feels simply amazing that they and our City of Erie taxpayers will finally get the upgrades that they have long deserved. So let's just be grateful for that. We have a few speakers this morning. We promise to be brief. I know it's a little chilly, and I know that some of our other speakers will have the opportunity to tell you what this renovation and all of the facility upgrades that are currently underway across our district will mean to our students and families. But before we hear from them, I need to recognize a few people who made this day possible. And first, let's just get right to it and get it out of the way. Let's please join me in a huge round of applause for one of Erie's favorite sons, the great Fred Biletnikoff, alumnus of the Tech Memorial High School. Tech Memorial High School class of 1961, and his beautiful wife, Angela, who came all the way from California to be with us today. Fred, we know that it took us a minute to get here, but we are confident that this renovated field will finally live up to your legacy. We're thrilled you're here, and we'll look forward to hearing from you in a few minutes. I'd also like to recognize Fred's family and friends who made the trip to be with us today. Thanks to all of you who came out to support this great project. I also really need to take a moment to recognize our state legislative delegation. Representative Pat Harkins, Representative Bob Mursky, and Senator Dan Laughlin. It is not an exaggeration to say we would not be standing here today without the tireless advocacy of these three men. Please join me in thanking them. We're also very pleased to welcome Mayor Joe Schember and Erie County Councilwoman Mary Rennie. Thank you for being with us. I'd also like to recognize my colleagues on the Erie School Board. I know Sumner Nichols is here today. I don't see anyone else, but please join me in recognizing the Erie School Board, whose support of this project was truly critical to making it happen. Thank you. And lastly, I do need to acknowledge Ina Fisher, board president of the Foundation for Erie's Public Schools, which is the nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting our schools and students. It was through donations to the foundation that many of you were able to support the sign project and the field renovation project today. Thanks to Ina, the foundation board, and also to all of the donors. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome Superintendent Brian Polito to the podium for a few remarks, but before I hand the mic over to him, I'd like to take this opportunity to personally and publicly thank Brian for his leadership of our district over the past 6 years. 6 years, by the way, which have included a near catastrophic budget crisis, consolidation of 3 high schools, a fire, COVID, and most importantly, today's event, which marks the start of a brand new era for the students and families of Erie's public schools. Brian, we can never thank you and your team enough for all that you've done and continue to do for our district. We're grateful to have you today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Daria. There was a time in the not too distant past where we could not even begin to think about an investment like this. In deep financial crisis, we were forced to focus on simply keeping our doors open, patching up buildings that were literally falling apart around us, and making payroll. I'm proud to say that those days are behind us, and prouder still to say that our students, and by extension our larger community, are reaping the benefits across the board in curriculum, in student supports, and improvements to our facilities district-wide. That includes Biletnikoff Field. With this $6 million renovation project, we are committed to ensuring our students play on a level playing field, literally. As you can see from the architectural rendering, Biletnikoff Field will be transformed into a multi-sport athletic facility featuring new turf and stadium seating, a concession stand, new track and field event space, and finally, for the first time in the district's history, a regulation-sized all-weather track. This is what our students need, this is what our students deserve, and it has been a long time coming. Leading the charge, along with some very dedicated community members, has been our Athletic Facilities Commission. So I'd like to invite Commission member Darlene Feeney up to say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Brian. Indeed, this has been a long time coming. And I am, go ahead. And I am honored to be here on behalf of the Athletic Facilities Commission. It wouldn't be a school day if there wasn't a short history lesson, and being a former public school educator, we'll start there. The Athletic Facilities Commission is the successor of the Veteran Memorial Stadium Commission, and it was formed in October of 2021 and charged with three main duties. First, to work with the district administration to create a district-wide facilities plan. Two, to work with the school board and administration to include athletic facility upgrades in the school district's facilities plan. And three, to coordinate with the Partnership for Erie's Public Schools, the Foundation for Erie Public Schools, a public fundraising effort to assist in funding upgrades to the district's athletic facilities. Since the formation of our commission, along with dedicated community supporters, we have made renovating Biletnikoff Field a priority, not only because we recognize the importance in doing so for our student athletes, but because we also recognize athletics are a point of pride for our community as a whole. As others have said before me, our students deserve a facility that we can all be proud of, a home field that not only encourages and fosters athletic ability, but reflects the pride we should all feel in wearing the E and representing our Erie Royals. I am so thrilled to be able to witness the culmination of efforts to make these renovations a reality. And on behalf of the entire commission, I thank everyone here who contributed in any way to make this happen. I thank you, and our students thank you. And now I would like to invite our athletic director, Dale Mills, to make a few comments.
Thank you, Darlene, and thank you all for being here. As Director of Athletics, it is my great privilege to witness every day the life-changing impact sports have on our student athletes. In investing in sports, we are investing not only in students, but also in the activities that help keep them engaged in school. We are investing in the important life lessons that sports build: teamwork, leadership, resilience, dedication, and good sportsmanship. We are investing in mental and physical wellness. We are investing in connections between students and staff and in activities that foster and grow community pride. These renovations go so far beyond constructing new bleachers and installing a new track. They signal to our staff, students, and community the importance of sports to our students' futures, on and off the field. I am proud to be a part of a district that recognizes the role athletics play in not only supporting our students and their families, but also growing pride in our community, and I hope you are too. I want to recognize some of our students in the audience today, representing our girls and boys soccer teams, Our track team, I have 3 students here going to states as soon as this is over, so that's awesome. Yes. Our football team, our cheerleading team, and their coaches. These students and the students that will compete on this field in years to come are who we're here doing this for today. Students and coaches, please stand. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dale, and thank you to all the students and coaches that are here today. Truly, this is for you and for our whole community. So now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, someone who has found great success both on and off the field, and who continues to make Erie's Public Schools exceedingly proud. And on a personal note, someone who comes from my neighborhood, which makes me personally very happy. After graduating from Tech Memorial High School in 1961, Fred Biletnikoff went on to attend Florida State University, where the wide receiver earned All-America honors with the Seminoles during his senior year. In 1965, Fred was drafted by the Oakland Raiders, with whom he would go on to play 14 seasons. Among his many great accomplishments, he helped lead the Raiders to victory in Super Bowl XI and was named Most Valuable Player of that game. He is a member of both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fred Biletnikoff.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'm more nervous now than when we played in the Super Bowl. I want to thank the school board, the administrators, the dignitaries, everybody that took the time to really battle to have this done. Thank you. Like Al Davis used to say to me when I was coaching, Fred, can you get it done? Well, if he was alive, he would say, Fred, they got it done. And thank you very much. I want to recognize a few of my friends, Jim Zebak, who did the billboard out here, and George Gott, who's no longer with us, but he had an influence there too. Doug White, who's done a lot of things here in Erie. Eddie Kissel, who Eddie can be tough sometimes. Rich Velovic. I want to thank those guys for hanging in there all these years, and it's finally come to a reality. And I want to thank you so much for being my friend and confidant, and it's been wonderful being with you guys, and not only classmates, but great, great friends, and thank you so much. I want to thank the media in Erie. You guys have done a terrific job, believe me, and to make awareness, let people know what's going on here at Biletnikoff Field, and I certainly appreciate it, and you treated me so well, and all the interviews we've done, podcasts, whatever, so thank you very much. I want to thank Mark Davis and the Las Vegas Raiders. Michaela Jackson is here from Silver and Black Productions, came all the way from Las Vegas to film this and document this great event, so thanks, Michaela, for being here. I finally got a chance and spent a few minutes with Don Orlando, the principal, and I finally saw him smile. He doesn't have to start, well, pretty soon he won't have to start sending these athletes every place around town to work out and practice. So, Don, it's great to be here, not only for the school, but for the students, and it's been an amazing journey for all of us. But I think Andre can smile now with the football team, and everybody that's coaching and the students in the building there can enjoy something that they can be proud of. So thank you, Don, and I'll see you in a little bit. And I want to say something about my wife, Angela. You're still here with me. But she's worked so hard for well over 20 years to change the lives of young women, to help them transition from the bad part of their life through drugs, alcohol, abuse, trafficking, whatever it may be. And she's right there helping them and building houses, recreation centers, schools, everything. So she's been doing that well over 20 years. And I would say, you're doing a hell of a job. You really are, and she continues to do it. So thank you. Let's see. There's two guys I want to introduce. I got to look at my notes. I don't have my glasses, but Jeff Plyler, thank you so much. Keith Reichart, thank you so much for your support and being there when we needed you with the billboard. And just thank you guys. I just want to recognize you guys and thank you very much. And to everybody, to have my name on this field, a lot of my friends are here that grew up in the old neighborhood. To come down there from German Street, being able to start at the old Tech High School, being up here at Tech Memorial when it first opened, and being part of the sports history here in his school, and being part of the school and being part of the city of sports history means a lot to me. My name's on this field, but like we all want to do, like we all really want to make a point in life is, we got to create something for these young kids, men, girls and boys, and something they're going to be proud of. Somebody asked me a little bit earlier, I said, you know what people want to do when you're an athlete? They want to come and perform someplace when they walk out there, if it's a track, if it's a field, whatever it may be, that this is first class. And they want to feel that that really gives them the inspiration to really perform on. And obviously when I got here, the architects, I got to see this picture and I couldn't believe it. And it was just amazing and terrific. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. And to have my name part of this means the world to me and my family. Okay, so I want to thank everybody. And I know it's been a hard, long way to go. I haven't been the best help in the world in a lot of instances, but I know you guys battled for this. We got it. It's done. We can see the smile on these kids' face. And like we always say, the reward out of all this that we can do for the young people in this world and here in Erie is just to see the smile on their face, and that's the reward we get. So thank you so much for letting me be back here again, part of this, and it's great to be back in Erie. And Angela and I have a presentation to make to Brian, so if you just be a moment with us. We did a little fundraiser yesterday, and we were able to come up with that money, and then Angela was generous enough from our foundation to donate too, so this all goes to the field, and we're happy to do it, and we're going to keep trying to raise more and more funds for you and do the best we can. And with the community behind us, you know, we're still looking for donations, so don't feel it's over. All right?
We're still asking.
We're still asking, believe me. We're not ashamed to ask either. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back here, it really is.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Wonderful.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That was
Okay,
wonderful.
thank you. Brian? Yeah, thanks. Darlene, yes, thanks.
So as with anything in football, I guess, we had a little bit of an audible this morning, and John Harkins, our venerable school board director, asked if he could just say a few words because, as we all know, John knows everything there is to know about the Erie School District, about its history, and I think particularly about this school. So I'm going to give John the mic for a few minutes. He just wants to give a little bit of history, which no one does better than he does. So John, thank you.
I appreciate it, Daria, and I don't want to abuse it, but I am very emotional about this today because I was witness to a lot of, and I want to tie it together in an effective way. I grew up a few blocks in that direction, and one hot summer day, the older boys in the neighborhood said, "You want to come with us? We're going to go up to Tech and watch the football team practice." And I had never known that that athletic teams practiced. But I came up here that day, and there was hardly a blade of grass on this field. And we stood there. Sterling Milk was behind us, and you could go into these little refrigerator doors and get snow, we called it. It's what they kept their dairy products cold with, and watch the action. And the action was, there was 22 bodies on the field, all of them, every one of them wearing a dirty white practice jersey, no numbers, no distinction. But amid all the collisions of the bodies and the whistles blowing, the older boys were saying, "That's him, that's him." I finally said, "Who's him?" And they said, "Biletnikoff." And then a few minutes later they said, "And that Biletnikoff." I thought to myself briefly, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys. Everybody on this side is a Biletnikoff, and over here it's everybody else. And then I was told that his younger brother Bobby was the quarterback. So that's an indelible memory, but the taxpayers of Erie at the time had recognized the need and found the ability to raise the money to build that facility. The old Erie Technical High School had been at 10th and Sass, and in 59 and 60 that was built, and I'd never been up here other than maybe to see that it was a wide open field. They called it the circus fields. But Fred was on the field that day, and the boys knew of him, but there was no guarantee at that point that he was going to go on and accomplish the things that he did. I said, "Who's that one guy with the whistle around his neck doing all the yelling?" And the guy said, "That's Ray Dombrowski. He's standing right next to Walt Strasser." And one important point I want to make is the taxpayers provided that facility and hired men like Walt Strasser and Ray Dombrowski to shape the lives of young men like Fred. And Fred brought his talent and God-given ability here, but there was no guarantee that he'd do anything after high school. But those men guided, cajoled, inspired him to reach further, and he did, and he was fortunate enough to go all the way to the elite end of his profession and excel. And a board member who was a renowned Erie great football coach, Bill Brabender, thought it was important, and he prodded and advocated that the school district change or adopt the name, give the name of this field to Fred Biletnikoff because of what he had accomplished. And I'm sure Billy's looking down with happiness today. And I want to say that we provide facilities for kids to reach their potential, and here's a shining example of it. And we're here to celebrate that and rededicate this to today's kids, because the world is very different now. As we know, today's kids struggle with a lot of things that we didn't and Fred didn't, but we want to give them opportunities in music and arts. Looking at that building, Joe Plavkin taught commercial art there and launched the careers of a lot of great artists. We have to continue to provide opportunities for Erie's young people and find ways to fund it and to hire the competent people that shape the lives of these people. I just want to say thanks to Bill Brabender for recognizing and making the community recognize that this field should be named in honor of this kid, now this wonderful guy, Fred. And Gus Picardo prodded the board for many years to try to fix this facility, as we're now doing. And even when he persevered when it was even difficult to convince anyone. And circumstances took over and we couldn't do it. But here we are today, persevered, and we've done this. I want to say Fred, Johnny DeSanti lived a few blocks from here. He passed away a few months ago. He was one of Fred's quarterbacks and a great Erie coach who shaped the lives of a lot of young people as a math teacher at Joanna Connell Elementary School. I now realize I'm rambling and I'm going to sit down, but it's a great, I hope you know what I'm trying to say, that we hope that young people are given the opportunity and that they take it and run with it and make the success of their lives that Fred has, who himself influences as a former coach and a man who gives himself to charitable causes, trying to do good in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you. I want to say again, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Biletnikoff, for your very generous donation, and thank you all for being with us today. We're now ready to actually do the deed, so I'd like to invite Mr. Biletnikoff, our local dignitaries, and our district administrators to please move to our pile of dirt groundbreaking area here for the main event. We have shovels and hats. As they do that, I also really need to thank Erie's Public Schools Communications Department, Erica Irwin, Andy Johnson, and Don Murskowski. They make these things happen. And thank you, too, for all of you for being here today. As soon as the ground is broken, please move back to the back of the tent, and we'll have some light refreshments. Again, thank you all.